You know how a bad mood can feel contagious? Like one person has a rough day and suddenly it seems like everyone around them does too. Well, we're about to dive into a story that takes that idea to a whole new level. You won't believe just how far these ripples can go.
A yelling CEO and a scared little mouse. Yeah, it sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, right? But believe it or not, there's a direct line connecting them, and it is wild. Stick with me, and I'll show you exactly how this bizarre connection plays out.
Okay, so every story has got a starting point. And this one, well, it all begins at what you could call a poisoned well. This is the single source where all the trouble starts to flow.
So let's meet our first character, the company president. And management style is a pretty generous term here. This guy is all about intimidation. He's constantly yelling, pushing his people, creating this intense pressure cooker of an environment. I mean, nobody feels safe, nobody feels respected. It's just toxic.
And look, this isn't just about people's feelings getting hurt. This kind of negativity has a real, actual cost to the business. You've got staff anxiety through the roof, the health center is handing out pills left and right, and all that stress, it leads straight to lost production and more downtime. It's a terrible strategy, even if he's completely blind to it.
So how does all that anger actually spread? Well, it definitely doesn't stay locked up in the boardroom. Nope, it cascades down from one person to the next like a set of dominoes. Let's follow the trail.
And the path this anger takes is, well, it's crystal clear. First, the president lays into Charlie, the head of sales. So what does Charlie do? He turns around and takes it out on his own staff. A worker named Mary is on the receiving end. Then she takes all that stress home and bam, screams at her son, Johnny, for spilling something. And the chain continues. Johnny gets into a fight and takes his anger out on a girl named Jenny. Just think about that. The poison started in a C-suite office, and now it's infecting a school playground. Unreal.
But here's the really scary part. The anger isn't just moving from person to person. It's getting bigger. It's amplifying. With every single step down the line, the frustration just builds and builds, so each explosion is even worse than the one before it.
Okay, and this is where things get weird. The whole chain reaction is about to take a hard left turn, and it's all thanks to the smallest, most innocent player in this whole mess.
So, little Jenny, after getting yelled at by Johnny, she goes home and she's just steaming. She feels powerless, she can't fight back, so what does she do? She lashes out at the first thing she sees, her poor, unsuspecting cat.
The cat, totally startled, just bolts. So much for a lazy afternoon nap, right? All of a sudden, its hunting instincts are kicked into high gear, and it shoots off into the garden on the prowl.
And guess what it spots? A tiny little mouse. The mouse, obviously terrified of becoming cat food, makes her run for it. It needs a safe place to hide, like right now, so it just scurries away from the garden, running for its life.
And you will not believe where this mouse ends up. In the most incredible twist of fate, it finds a little hole and slips right into a nice, warm kitchen. The kitchen of the president, the same guy who started this whole mess.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The irony is just perfect. That huge wave of anger he sent out into the world, it has literally come back to his own house. The circle is now complete.
And just look at the contrast here. You've got the president sleeping and dreaming about hostile takeovers and corporate battles. Meanwhile, the mouse has much simpler plans. Find something to eat. And while it's at it, it leaves behind a little surprise in the cereal box. A tiny surprise with huge consequences.
So the next morning, the president is rushing around, pours himself a bowl of cereal, totally clueless about his little house guest. But later at the office, it hits him. The germs from the mouse do their thing, and he just collapses, right there on the floor. His own negativity has literally come back to make him physically sick. Wow.
But here's another twist. This completely dramatic, painful moment, it actually ends up starting a whole new ripple effect. And this time, it's a good one.
So there he is, lying in a hospital bed, feeling scared and weak. And who's taking care of him? The same people he used to yell at every single day. His secretary even comes to visit. And seeing them show genuine kindness, for the first time, something clicks. He realizes all that anger was just a front. He finally sees them as people. And in his moment of weakness, he starts to find his own humanity again. It's their kindness that finally gets through to him. And the change is incredible. A total 180. The yelling is gone, replaced with a smile. Lost production? Nope. Now profits are growing. Those stressed out families are happy. the entire trickle-down effect goes in reverse. I mean, it goes all the way back to Jenny, who's now petting her cat instead of kicking it. It turns out kindness isn't just nice, it's actually a way better business model.
And that really brings us to the whole point of this story, doesn't it? Being kind, it's not just some nice, fluffy idea, it's an investment. It pays you back, often in ways you could never see coming. It starts these positive ripples that end up making things better for everybody.
So, this whole story leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. At work, at home, just out in the world. Everything we do sends out ripples. So it's worth asking yourself, what kind of ripples are you starting?